Welcome everybody to this wonderful song by Glen Campbell. It's just beautiful. I've written this out. My notes are, there's a lot of color in them. They're color coded for what chords they are. The chords I wrote up above. There's a couple, quote, inversions that I included in that. So if you want to play it that way, and we'll talk about why you would. But anyhow, I'm covering the 6-string Fender 6 bass part. I'm covering the chords. We'll talk about the electric version that Glen does. I have a video of Glen playing this on a Fender 6. It's not the best resolution, but you can see what he's doing. Even when during the solo, they pan to his picking hand, but you can see what strings he's playing, so I just put the notes to it. Anyhow, I used that video and I used his Sus Falls or Suis Falls, however you pronounce it, live version. I've got that solo worked out for you. It's beautiful. He uses an arpeggio, he uses some octaves. It's Glen. So if you're not familiar with Glen and the Wrecking Crew, you really need to look into his history, but I'm sure you are if you're here. So the song starts out with the bass pickup, which I did earlier, but we can do that on the acoustic or the electric. And we'll be on the 3rd string, 3rd fret to 2nd, and then we go to the 4th string, 3rd fret to open, and land on the 5th string at 3. That leads us into an F major 7th, all right? F major 7th is really from the F note, Color My World chord by Chicago, okay? We can add the C over it, so we'll put the C note in there. Some people use their thumb around to add the F. I can't get my thumb. My hand just isn't made to do that. But I found, again, as I've written out, it sounds really good using that C note in addition to the rest of the chord. And then we move to this chord, which is called a C 9th sus 4. And it's basically covering the 5th through the 1st string. All right, then the pickup bass part comes. And then we go back again to our F major 7 to our C 9 sus 4. And then the verse starts. All right, during the verse, when Glen plays this on the Fender 6 string or the electric, he tends to do his B major 7 up here at the let's see, that'd be 6, 7, and 8 on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string. Alright, and then goes to an A minor. But if you want to play this acoustically, and again, it sounds real pretty up here, this B major 7 to this A minor 7. And then we're back to the C 9 sus 4. Then he comes up to a D minor 7, to an A 7th, and he doesn't play the 6th string. All right, and then what we're going to do is just use the 1st through the 4th string, add our pinky down, what would be a G chord. All right, we're going to add the pinky down for a sus 4. Hit that twice to a G twice. into plain old D, but it's a sus2, so our first string will be open, then we add the second fret for D, then we'll put our pinky down for a sus4, back to D, back to sus2, back to D. Okay, so that's verse 1. Those are the chords, and again, it's fun to play with. I really had a good time learning this. Then we're into what begins the chorus. So for the chorus, we're going to start with the C add ninth, and this will be held for a half measure. Okay, so what we're doing there is we'll do our C add ninth half measure. So if you're not familiar with that chord, it's like playing a G chord with our first and second string covered at the 3rd fret, but we've moved from the 6th string to the 5th and 4th string. Then again, then a walk down, so we'll go to a B over G. Then a B flat over G. Then he comes back with a D sus4 to D, and then A7 sus4. Then he goes, I'm still on the line, so that'll be a B major 7, C add 9, back to our B major 7th. End it with our C9 sus4. And then we're into verse 2 and chorus 2, which are exactly the same. So, like I said, it's really beautiful. Learn the different chord parts that I've showed you. Like, even live, when he plays that B major 7th, he'll just be playing, like I said, the 6th, 7th, and 8th fret of the 2nd, 3rd, and string. And then he moves up to a reference of it. Again, there's more notes to it, but he's just covering like a C chord. That's electronically, but if you're playing it acoustically, it really sounds better up here at the first cowboy position. Same with the D minor 7th. You know, we're playing the D minor 7th up here. If you want to do it in the first position, just cover the 1st and 2nd strings at the 1st fret and add the 3rd string 2nd fret. Okay, and then your A minor 7th. Oops. So, again, it's in my notes. It's really one of those things, take your time, enjoy figuring out. It's the journey, not the destination, right? So the solo rhythm picks up after chorus 2. So chorus 2 ends after our B major 7th to our C9 sus4. The solo rhythm starts in with the C add 9, then moves to the B major 7th, and it's really the same as the verse. A minor 7th, then he goes into chorus 3, which is again our C add 9th for half measure, and we'll go through chorus 3, which takes us into the outro. Okay. So the outro is our B major 7th to C add 9. We'll do that a total of 2 measures. That's 1 measure. We'll repeat that and then fade out. Okay. So that is the acoustic part, and talking about some of the inversions he does with the electric. Okay, for the 6-string bass, I was playing with the pick, and I didn't like the tone as much. I am using the neck and middle pickup with the tone cut off. So the first two switches are up, last two are off. And I'm using a felt pick. I bought these a while ago on YouTube for something else, but they come in really handy. They're kind of thick, but for this, it really sounds good with the 6-string bass. So like I said, my notes are below for watching Glen play this with the 6-string bass, the Fender 6. We'll go through what he's doing. I'll talk about a couple things that I wrote out that are different. So to start out with, we do this little pickup on the 3rd string, 3rd fret to the 2nd string, and then we come to the 4th string, 3rd fret to open and land on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. Okay, at that point, the guitar plays an F major 7th, I think. We're just going to reference that, not play the full chord. I found with the 6-string bass, chords up here, other than really the D, don't sound as good. There's that F major. I can add the C over it. It's too bassy, if you will. So watching Glen, I notice he's just playing partial chords. So he'll be on the 3rd fret of the 4th string and the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. He'll hit it 2 more times and then 1 more time as part of the timing before he goes into what would be that C9 sus2 chord. And again, he's just referencing it here by playing the 3rd fret of the 4th and 3rd string. So we have this all together. So that is the intro that Glen plays with the 6-string bass and the orchestra. So for the verse, just like kind of the intro, we'll be doing basically triads or 3 notes to represent the chord. So the first chord we'll hear, and he plays a B major 7th, and it sounds better up here if we play the 2nd string at the 6th fret, 3rd string at the 7th fret, and 8th fret on the 4th string. We go to reference an A minor on those same 3 strings, but at the 5th fret. Okay, and then our C suspended, which really will be playing the 4th and 3rd string. Okay, then he comes to a D minor 7th, so we can represent that on barring across the 5th fret and on the 2nd string, 6th fret, and 7th fret on the 4th string. Back to our A minor. Now you want to get in position by, this is going to be a G suspended 2nd to G. So 3rd fret of the 2nd, 4th fret of the 3rd, and 5th fret of the 5th string, but we're going to have our pinky down to start with. For the G, and then we go into D sus2 to D sus4, D, and D sus4 back to D, and repeat D sus2 to D. Okay, so those are, like I said, mainly dyads that represent the chords. And this again, I've written out for you for this guitar. So after verse 1, we're into chorus. And the chorus is the C9th, and that's for 2, well, I should say twice through or a half measure. But I noticed when Glen plays it, he's just playing the bass notes. if you play a C add ninth, it's not going to sound very good, but what we can do is pick through a couple notes. So play that C note on the A string, 3rd fret, and then come to the open 3rd string to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, back to that 3rd open. And then 2 more C's, and then through it, and then walk down. And then we go to what would be D sus4 to D, but I notice again he's just playing bass notes. So what we're going to do is hit that 4th string once, hold that, and then 2 more times with it held. And then to what would be the A7 sus4. And that's just simply playing the 5th string open. Alright, and then that leads us to the last part of the chorus, which is B major 7th and to that C9 sus2. And I found this inversion. Okay, so the B major 7th we'll be doing up here at the 6, 7, and 8. Move that up and add your finger barred across that 8th fret. Back to the triad. Okay, it sounds real pretty. So now we're into verse 2, and then chorus 2 is exactly the same after that. And what we're going to do after chorus 2 is we go into the solo. So the Fender Bass 6 solo has a little tremolo on, so I added that for flavor. I'm going to play the solo and then we'll go over it. Okay, that's the recording solo. Now, live in Suez Falls, the 6th string just adds another little lick that goes up here to the 7th position. And I'll show you that at the end, because that's what Glen takes off on the electric guitar solo, so as far as live. Alright, so regular solo. Let's turn off the tremolo. Got that off. We're going to start out on the 5th string, 3rd fret, to the 4th string, 3rd fret, up to 5. Alright? And then we're going to come to the 3rd string at the 3rd fret, hit that twice, and then the 2nd fret, landing on the 4th string at 5. And then we come back to the 4th string, 2nd fret to 5 with vibrato. So we have this all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now we'll come back to the 3rd fret of the 4th string to 5, and then we come to the 3rd fret of the 3rd string back to 2. And then 3 on the 4th, 3 on the 5th. Just add some vibrato there. So up to that point, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, at that point, a little bit more to it, and this is 3rd position. We'll go up to 7 for a quick note there, but what we're going to do is 5th fret 3, 4th fret 3 to 5th fret of the 3rd string twice. Back to the 4th string at 3. Then we're going to play, hit 2 2 sets of 5 quickly before we hit it again and hold it. Then we'll hit 5 again and go up to 7 to the 4th fret, 3rd string, and then 7, 5, 7 on the 4th string. Okay, so the second half measure, which we take off from the 3rd position. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the recording solo. You can play that on electric guitar, it's fine, you got the same notes. Like I said, the live in Sioux Falls, the guitar or the Fender 6 player comes up here to the 7th position and he'll play this. And that's when it's like, here you go, Glenn, it's like a handoff. So we're going to play on the 4th string 7 to 9, coming to 7 on the 3rd string, back to 9, 7, 9 on the 4th. And then we land on the 5th on that D note and let that ring while Glenn goes. So in this beautiful solo from Sioux Falls in 2011, Glenn does this. We'll cover what he's doing. I'm going to go over all the notes, and it's in my written notes so you can follow along. Alright, that's the first half measure. It's just beautiful how he starts out with these beautiful notes and then goes into this arpeggio that's just beautiful. So we're going to bend on the 2nd string 8 and then hit it twice, and then the 3rd time release it and then hit 7. Then we come to the 3rd string 7 to 9. Then we start the arpeggio. 6th string 8th fret to 7, 10. Then switch positions to this 8th position. We'll catch on the 4th string 10, 9 on the 3rd, 8 on the 2nd, and 8 on the 1st. And then we grab 10 and slide that up to 12. Alright, so we have this all together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what he does is he's going to hit 10 on that 1st string, hammer into 12, pull back off to 10, and then hit 8, slid to 7. Then he comes to 10 on the 2nd string to 8 on the 1st with, 7 on the 1st with 8, pull back off to 7. Alright, so we have this. I'll take it from the slide up. Then you'll hear the 3rd string open played slightly before he hits the same G note on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. And then he'll go 7 hammered into 8 to 10, back to 7, and then 8 pulled off to 7, and then just 7 on the 3rd string twice, held the 2nd time. Okay, so from the arpeggio, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the second measure of the solo, we've ended with the 2 7s on the 3rd string. We're going to start with 2 more 7s on that 3rd string before we come to the 2nd string at 8 bent, and then 8 unbent to 7, 8, and then 7 hammered onto 8 and pulled off to 7. Then we come to 7 on the 3rd string. Alright, so we have this for this, let's just say first half measure of, first half measure of the 2nd measure of this solo. Then what he does is some hybrid, beautiful octave picking. So we're going to pick the 4th string at 7 and hybrid pick whatever finger you like on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. We'll slide that up to the 9th fret and 12th fret respectively. Alright, and then he moves that down to the 9th fret of the 3rd string and 12th fret of the 1st string and slides that back to 7. Alright, so we have this. Just really well played. Glen likes octaves in his solos. So this 2nd measure, the solo together, we've left off on 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think this 3rd measure, just the feeling that he puts into this is my favorite part. And again, it's very approachable. So we'll sound like this. I'll play it and then we'll show you what we're doing. Alright, that's it. But again, it's the feel and the vibrato and the way he's playing along with the band. So to start out with, we're on the 3rd string. We'll hammer from 7 to 9, catching 8 on the 2nd string, back to 9 on the 3rd, and then 7. Then we jump to the 1st string at 10 with vibrato. As that fades, he'll hit 8 to 10. Again, give that vibrato, and then he'll hit 10 twice. So you'll have this. Then you'll hear him do this. It's a pull. It's hitting 12, hammering on to 13, pulling back off to 12, and then to 10. Then we catch 13 on that. Then we catch 13 on the 2nd string, slid up to 15, and then 2 more hits with vibrato between. Alright, so that last measure together, because I really enjoy playing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I really hope that helps everybody. Like I said, I got my notes below. I got the videos I referenced below. I hope that helps everybody. A beautiful song. Enjoy.